All right, so going back to like more recent stuff, right? I mean, you have a slew of projects that you've worked on. You're wearing the stream shirt right now, right? You're repping the stream shirt, and that was a fun one because first of all, through Jamie, I learned that that was that during COVID, which was really
Yep.
interesting and kind of like how you guys blocked off a big chunk of a hotel and everyone was like camping out there and filming with like every legend in horror ever like
Yeah.
so like there was like what Tim Curry, Bill Moseley, Danielle Harris, I mean like Jeffrey Combs, like
Yeah. D
Tony
Wallace.
Todd,
Yeah, yeah. We had D
like
Wallace. We had. I'm looking up at the poster right now. Tim
yeah.
Reed. We had Mark Holton. We had my good friend Terry Alexander. Like we had everybody.
Yeah. So working on a project like that, so it's kind of like a dual thing where like you're with, first of all, I could say, what was that like creatively and being immersed with like these amazing humans. But then to one up it, it's like during the pandemic. So you're not only just working with legends, but you're in this hotel. People just have rooms, like you're all kind of coming from your rooms to do work. So what was it like, kind of like being immersed in that and kind of being with some of the horror heroes and kind of living in a hotel while doing that?
Dude, it was to say that it was the greatest experience ever is an understatement. Like like it was funny. It was like on the last day, and where I was talking to Damien, and Damien, I was like, dude, I can't believe this is over. And Damien goes, dude, we're gonna look back like 10 years from now at this film and be like, how the fuck did we get so lucky to
Yeah.
do this? And he
Yeah.
wasn't wrong. It's like like people were like, we were getting messages from like, I was getting tons of messages from all the union people that I was befriended over the years. And they're like, oh my God, you guys are on set. This is not safe, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, no, we are safe. It is
Yeah.
insane. We are quarantined. We had a third of the budget went to fucking HEPA filters, COVID tests. It was nuts. It was crazy. Like people are like, I can't even leave my fucking apartment, and we're there having a party. Like we're having
Yeah.
the best fucking time on the planet. And every day we're waking up and like, oh shit, today's the day that we kill fucking Mark Holton. Oh, today's the day that like Daniel Harris is here. Okay, no, today's it's like, oh my God, like we just had the best time. And it's really where I kind of got close to everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not, I mean, I was already close with Michael and Steve and Jay because I knew them for a while, but like they had been trying to get me to meet Damien forever, and we just kept missing each other. And I will never forget. Damien was coming down the hallway. I was coming this way, and I go, "You're Damien." He goes, "You're Marcus, right?" He goes, "Well, we're
Yeah.
supposed to meet, aren't we?" And Damien we just go, "All right, top three favorite films," and we just went off and and I mentioned Charles Bronson, and he goes, "Oh my God, I fucking love Charles Bronson," and we just went off. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like, and we had started to be to this day, we still annoy everybody with Charles Bronson impressions. There will be a behind the scenes. I know that I think they're working on it. I think they're
Okay,
gonna
cool.
maybe doing it for the 4K. Don't quote me on it. It's
Yeah.
because someone's got me a little schnockered here.
We have one
Um,
more. We're gonna get everything out tonight.
oh God, I'm fucked.
Uh, and by the way,
And
I can if when you sober up tomorrow, you can tell me what you want to edit out, and I can go
oh no
back and
no
forth.
no, I'm sure like everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Let's hope. No, but yeah, but I think because they're gonna do a 4K, and we're probably gonna have like it's just taking time. So
Yeah.
the behind the scenes stuff will be in there. There's so much stuff. There's so much great moments that we all had just fucking with each other. So many
Yeah.
great moments on set. Stream will always be a very special movie for me. I mean, it's the first movie I met Jamie on. It's the first, who's now become one of my best friends. I fucking love Jamie. It's the first movie where I really got close to George and Damien and Phil and the Seashells guys. It was their first movie that they
Yeah.
did. So we got to meet and hang with them, and that's where where we all became friends with them. And it was a very magical film. And to this day, every film is different. Every film is its own beast. Every film is its own magic. Every film has its own stories and vibes and jokes and everything else. And
Yeah.
you can't carry those onto other films because no one else gets them. It's
Yeah.
it's like summer camp is really what it is. It's fucking summer camp.
Yeah, that's a great
And
analogy.
yeah, and we went to that summer camp, and even with Stream 2, it's going to be different, And
Yeah.
so we will always hold Stream. I personally will always hold Stream as one of my favorite sets that I've ever worked on. Um, you know, and I'll never, ever, ever forget this. I remind Michael of this all the time because I fucked everybody over. And we're shooting one of the scenes. It's spoilers, but it's the ending where Combs gets killed.
Yeah.
And they're going, and Mike's doing like take after take and after take after take, and like Jamie's like, Mike, we gotta move on. Like we have to move on. You must have it. And like everyone's like, come on, Mike, and and like everyone's like, I can see Mike didn't have it. And mind you, this is like day 6, and like it's like the everyone's exhausted, and it's like the end of the night. It's just nowhere near it because there's so much more shit to shoot. And I go up to Mike. I say, hey, Mike, you got it? He goes, no, I don't have it. I say, I looked at like dead in the eyes. I go, fuck them all. You get this. You get this right. You get
Yeah.
this until you have it. Because without it, you don't have nothing. Mike looks at me and he just goes, thanks. And he kept going. I went straight upstairs. I went right to bed.
Dude, for a moment I was like that like that's like the motivational moment, and then you're like, yeah, here you go, keep going. And I'm taking off to bed.
And I was like, I'm out. Leave him on a high note, is what I say. You
So
know,
the extra
um,
footage, are we gonna get you and Danielle Harris ghost hunting or what?
Oh my God, you know about that? Holy shit. I hope so.
Because I thought
That
that
was
was
cool.
cool when I heard you guys were just kind of roaming around, and supposedly you said it was
Oh
pretty
yeah, no,
spooky.
that
Some
place
weird
was
stuff was
fucking
happening. Yeah.
haunted. That place was crazy. Well, you have to realize where we were. Like when we would drive to McDonald's. Yes, we did eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
Um, and you would, like it's like you leave the hotel, the Eisenhower, and you leave and you drive and you pass the place, you pass the battlefield.
Yeah.
There was a lot of crazy activity. We did it with Craig Lloydron, actually.
Wow.
Our good buddy Craig. And Craig he had like all the gear and everything. We were picking up stuff. It was crazy. That was such a cool thing. I think we went live. I think there's a live somewhere,
Oh
maybe
man.
on my Instagram,
Okay, I gotta dig.
um, somewhere on there, maybe. I'm wondering. I gotta look that up. I mean, I do know that there's video somewhere down the line of when I pranked George because when we shot Player Three's death, and that whole
Yeah.
sequence with Tara, where Tara gets killed, um, George and I roomed together,
Yeah.
which was the biggest mistake on the fucking planet for everybody else. We showed up 4 hours late one day, and then that's a whole story. And they all clapped, but we still stopped for Dunkin' Donuts beforehand. Made it even later. It was
Yeah.
awesome. And
If you're that late, you commit and you get the caffeine. Like if you're already that
yeah,
far
I mean,
gone.
it
Yeah.
is what it is. But I'll never forget. George was like, "Look, I don't want everyone in the room. I don't want anything." And I'm like, okay, George." So I think he had put cheese in my bed.
Yeah.
Or he put something in my bed. So when they asked where to put the dinner, like please, we got all this catering. I said, "Oh, bring it right into the room, string it out across the beds." George came in this video. It's just food fucking everywhere. Everyone, the entire crew's coming in, getting their food in
Uh,
there. Oh, it was so good.
some of my favorite stories, talking to people in the industry, it always seems like even down to they talk about like Wes Craven, that he was a jokester and he like pranks and whatnot. And I'm like, I feel like yeah, it comes back to that like summer camp, just like having a great time and it's all in good fun. And even better if now you have it all recorded and we fingers crossed, get that special
I'm
feature where they're
hoping.
behind the scenes.
I
Yeah.
know that they're working on that because the one thing I do know about Fuzz is they love be doing behind the scenes stuff. They love doing the videos because especially Steve. Steve Delasala is a comedy guy. He loves
Yeah.
comedy, like and he loves that doing that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And I know that there's gonna be a lot of good stuff. There's gonna be a lot of funny stuff. It's we always want to show that like no matter what, like there's stress, there's all this stuff. At the end of the day, you got to have fun
Yeah.
because, like I said earlier, you could be working in so many other places, making so much more money, living a better condition of life.
Yeah.
Like and you got to be having fun. If you're not having fun, if you're that guy that's like, who gives a fuck about Robin Williams? Like,
Yeah.
why are you here? Like,
Yeah.
why? What is the point? Like, um, and I think that this group, I mean, even shooting Leprechaun, shooting Stream, shooting everything we've been shooting, it's like, hell, even Dark Offerings when we shot that, it was like crazy,
Yeah.
so
Well, I was gonna say
it's
Dark
all,
Offerings, like during COVID, you were busy, man. Like for like, and it's cool because like nothing. I mean, obviously a lot had to slow down, and I'm sure there was many obstacles in the way. But Dark Offerings, um, like technically, like I mean, you had that in the can even before Host, which was
yes.
really cool. And like, so in terms of like, if you haven't watched Dark Offerings, you have to check it out, especially because after like now we're far removed. It's not there's less PTSD from the pandemic, like, but we all did it. Like we sat there with friends and had drinks, and I thought it was genius, but also a logistical nightmare of like doing this. Like me and you are doing two people on Zoom, and I'm gonna edit this and whatever. So watching that, I was just like, oh geez, I'm overwhelmed even even watching it. Um, but how did that like so coming out of COVID, like you do stream, you do Dark Offerings, and you have all these constraints. How do you think that influenced you now as like in your storytelling in filmmaking in general?
Well, when we did Dark Offerings, I mean, it was one of those things where it was just like, I was in Ukraine actually when we shot, when Trump shut the world down.
Mm,
I was literally shooting a giant monster movie. I got my Jaws moment, all that shit out there. That was for some Ukrainian woman that was just trying to show that she could make something, and never really did anything with it. But like we flew back, and I was like right into fucking all that shit, and then we came up with Dark Offerings, and it was one of those things where it was like nobody knew how to do this. We called SAG because we had SAG actors, and
yeah.
SAG was like, "Well, we got to send someone there to make sure it's COVID safe." I'm like, "If you send someone to the
It's less COVID
location,
safe.
you are breaking the You are violating the COVID rules. These are
Yeah.
people in their fucking house. They had no idea what to do with us. We were wrapped June 10th with
Wow.
everything. Of 2000, what was it, 2000 and
But 2021
2020.
would be, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, in 2020.
Yeah.
um the world shut down March. Script was written by April. We were shooting end of April and shot all that stuff, and it made me, and trying to direct that fucking movie, especially the scenes where like I had actors that were doing 15-minute takes,
Yeah.
and they would all, I'd have like one master computer, and I'd have everybody on there, so I'd watch everybody, like like I'm watching 10 surveillance cameras,
This
and
was
I'm watching
stream.
this one and this one and this one yes, exactly, I'm fucking locked with this, and
Yeah.
I have to like taking notes on the with the script on the side and everything, and I'm like, all right, I got to direct him and do this and do that and do that, and in editing it, I had to like take every one of the clips because basically we would shoot wides, which would be like the group shots, but then it
Yeah.
would be shit quality. So then we would do it like this, like how like I'm one frame, you're one frame, and
Okay.
right now we would do the scene, and I'd be filming you, like recording you full
Uh,
screen, and then
Yeah.
you'd be recording me full screen. Doesn't matter that you're not even talking to me. And then we would just film ourselves because you would get the highest quality because
Ah.
COVID, they shut down 4K.
Yeah.
So it was insane the amount of footage and going through it and all that, and you had to match everything up. And with all that being said, what it made me realize is you can do a lot writing wise, character wise, story wise. You don't need anything. We literally had this, and I had actors that were like, one actor's like, I'm upstate with my mother.
Yeah.
I can't do this and I can't do that. I have nowhere to go. And we're like, all right, so we're writing your death scene around that. Like, do you have
Mm.
Alka-Seltzer? She's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. Let's put Alka-Seltzer on your arm. It'll bubble up and it'll look like
Oh,
your
that's so
skin
cool.
melting, And it's like, and it does. And we added in the sizzling effect and it's like and once it was a one of a kind experience, and it's getting a resurgence actually. A lot of people have been watching it lately, and digging it,
Yeah.
and which means the world. I think you're right. I think people are like, all right, we're over the PTSD of that,
Yeah. I will
and
say though, I work with Rue Morgue, and Rue Morgue were one of the first ones to cover it as well, which is really
they
cool.
were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. It got everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Everybody picked it up. They were like, wait a minute. Wait, there's a horror movie shooting with we had, Felissa Rose, Terry Alexander, Tamara Glynn, Spencer Charnas,
Yeah.
who else is in this? Oh, yeah, Eileen Dietz. You know, I mean, now they look at it and they're like, wait a minute, David Howard Thornton's in it.
Yeah.
And I do have, and I can say this, I have David Howard Thornton's first on-screen kill.
Damn, that's huge. That's huge.
I
Yeah,
did.
I never really added. Like I watched the film. I didn't realize like that in terms of like the timeline. Yeah, that's the first.
Yeah. First time he's ever died on camera, this guy. I was like,
Yeah.
nah, 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 we're fucking killing him. No, I
Listen,
love
David.
David. Yeah. Sorry, David. You won't be in the sequel. We actually made a movie
Yeah.
during COVID before everybody. And I'll say this. I've never said this on any podcast. I'm gonna take a swig of
Here
this
we go.
first.
Yeah, take a sip and just divulge.
So we're watching. There was this I forget what it was called. For a while there was like this like app where everybody could speak on it, and it was like all the horror mucky mucks were all in it. I'll never forget this. We watched the film live on this, and the credits pop up, and I'm fucking fuming because I'm like, and I'm looking at, I'm like, fuck, this is Dark Offerings. This is
Yeah.
legitimately Dark Offerings. That's what this is. And I see the size of the crew, and I'm like, it's like stunts and all this shit, and it's got all these people, and I did not know that my mic was not muted, and I just shouted. I went, 37 crew members. Fuck them. Think they're better than us. Fuck these guys. And my phone starts blowing up. Dude, you're not muted. Dude, everyone can hear you. Mute, mute, mute. And I was like, oh, mute. And like, I think the guy was like, yeah, so we did have some crew members for when we could shoot under regulations. And I was like, I'm like, gee, maybe I shouldn't have been drinking all this fucking booze and COVID and done that. That was pretty stupid. But, you know, look, at the end of the day, I'm very proud of Dark Offerings. I'm proud of what we all did. We
Yeah.
actually shot it through Zoom. We had no real cameras.
Yeah.
We shot it at a time where literally two of the actors have never met in person to this day.
Wow.
It's two of the leads. It's Paul Sheehan, who plays Connor McLeod, and Clifton Dunn, who plays the boyfriend,
Yeah.
or the ex-boyfriend.
It,
Never met. But I will say this: the greatest rap party was the Dark Offerings rap party, because when it was the first time everyone came out. Terry came out. and
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter was happening, and we were down in by West Fourth by that park, and they were doing road beers now. Like the you still couldn't go inside. They just
Yeah.
started doing outdoor dining. You had to have the card. You had to have
I
this, and
almost
they were
forget it now that you're jogging my memory. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how it worked. Like we gradually could like stand outside and drink together. I think Dark Offerings will be a film that just like will gain more momentum the further we move away from that. And then it'll be studied as a historical piece.
let's hope.
Yeah. Uh, Marcus, let's pour our last one because like we I know people are like listen I know a lot of people are well versed with your career, but Terrifier 3 is always is a big one, so I wanted to touch on that and then we'll have a little bit of fun and wrap this up. So the last bottle that we have here is the Russell's Reserve. And what this is like if you're unfamiliar, Russell's Reserve is pretty much the same. It's wild turkey. Um, but
Oh, okay.
usually it's a little bit more of like, I mean, Wild Turkey itself as a line has some like higher end bottles, but Russell's Reserve, this is a store pick. So it's like 9 years old. It's at 55%. It's out of a store in Niagara Falls, New York, one of my go-to stores, supermarket, liquor and wines. And it's phenomenal. I love this one. So we'll pour this out.
All
And
right.
so this is our last bump in proof. We're at 110 proof,
Oh my
55%.
fucking God. It's gonna be great when my
Uh,
girlfriend gets back.
yeah.
She's gonna be like the farm, like, listen, all right. She
I'll
already
send
knows.
like I'll send a message to you after this, kind of just being like, "Hi, Marcus's girlfriend. Um, thank you for lending him to me for tonight and getting wasty pants." But
No joke. She knows that this was going on. I was supposed to go out with our buddy. It's our buddy's birthday, Kai. So she's taking him out tonight. And when they come back, we're gonna go out. Because I was like, oh, like, I want to at least celebrate a little bit with you. But I said that,
yeah.
but you gotta be warned. I'm gonna be. I showed him these
So
bottles. I'm
okay,
gonna
cool.
be
This is the
fucking.
cool pre-drink. Okay, okay. I was gonna say
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh
want to take
yeah.
away from the guy's birthday, but if this is the
Oh no no
pre-drink,
no no no
then
no 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 no. He's fine. I'm like it's gonna be a good time. But like I was like, listen. Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking sweet. I was as original. I was like, oh yeah, I can meet you guys. I'm like, nah, I ain't meeting nobody. I ain't driving no fucking
come
car.
back here.
Yeah,
All right, Marcus. Cheers. Let's dive into this one,
here you go,
and
my
we're
mother's
on the final
mug.
stretch. There we go. Cheers to mom.
Now that one's interesting.
What is it that like compared to the others that pops out for you?
It's not as oaky. It has a little bit of spice that hits the back of your throat
Yeah,
that I'm feeling. It's smooth. I think it's smoother than the last one.
yeah. The Uncle Nearest, right? And this one is
Mhm.
again so another 5% higher. This is one of my like I always say Russell's Reserve. Um, the standard Russell's Reserve is great, but if they're store picks and they're usually around like say $69 or so, sometimes you get them for 59. I never pass them up. Like if you see them in store, it's like a 9, sometimes 10-year product, 55%, like you can't go wrong. And even for the higher proof, it just super solid and like I said, doesn't really give you too much of that burn. There's a bit of oak, bit of sweetness. I feel like it's just like a nice
Yeah.
balanced pour. So, you were a script supervisor for Terrifier 3.
The
Okay.
best super, the best script
Well,
supervisor. At
the
least that's
best
what I
there
tell
ever.
myself.
But when I really like look into, I mean, I kind of knew what a script supervisor was, but when I kind of read up on what it was, like by definition, I was like, that seems like it would get really tricky fast with a horror film that has a ton of blood splatter. Like, so in terms of like challenges, what was it difficult to keep that continuity and keep it consistent shot to shot and you overseeing the script with it being such a like this like graphic, gory, bloody horror film?
Yes. I mean, there's
Simple, yes.
there were points where I went to Damien and I was just like, Damien, like Like, do you care that the blood's all? He goes, because you like thinking I'm gonna try to. You like thinking I give a shit about continuity right now. I'm like, fair enough. But I will say, I did one of the craziest moments on that is the glasturbation scene. And I'm like questioning every fucking life choice I have made throughout my entire life to wind up here. And I said that to Damien. I go, Damien, what the fuck is wrong with your brain? And he goes, I know it's sick, right? And I was like, yeah, dude, you're nuts. There's like the continuity on those types of movies, it's you gotta like you gotta realize that there's certain things that you have control over, there's certain things you don't, you
Yeah.
know. And this, the blood and all that shit, that's gonna go wherever it's gonna go, and it's
Yeah.
just gonna be its thing. And
And listen, there's only one person who's like deep diving on Reddit who's like, well, actually, the blood splatter on this scene was not
oh
quite
yeah, and
aligned
fuck
with
that guy. Yeah, fuck that guy. You know, that's the guy that's like, oh, are we supposed to think that this shirt is a magical shirt that can self-clean itself? It's like, come on, bro. You
Yeah.
know, but like, uh, I will say this: it was such a crazy experience because you're basically there for every shot. You're on the front lines as a script supervisor.
Yeah.
You're watching the movie get made, and you are there for everything. So you're seeing everything. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, like there's certain things where like the gaffer comes in, but then the gaffer's out. They
Yeah.
don't see the scene or whatever. And I'm like, this is such an incredible experience for me. I'll never forget the opening kill where the guy gets the axe in the neck. And I have the picture of it with that, which
Yeah,
Phil,
that was a good one.
it's a great one. And Phil
Yeah.
saw me and Michael in the room, and we're packing up. And Phil goes, "All right, none of yous takes a picture with that body. No pictures, understood? Neither one of you." And we're Mike and I, we won't. Phil leaves, and Jesse Corman is in the corner of the room, who's a still photographer, also the
Yeah.
lead singer of a band called the Number 12 Looks Like You, which I had no idea.
That's cool.
And Jesse goes, he didn't say anything about me. And I was like,
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it up in here when I edit it, but that's an awesome photo. It's so good.
oh, no, thank you, dude. I absolutely love that photo. But Jesse's a great fucking photographer. He really is. And he's also just a great dude. But like when Phil saw it, I remember Phil goes, I thought I told you not to take a photo with that. I said, I did not take the photo, Phil. I did not lie to you. There's someone else in the room took the photo. It wasn't me. Okay. But when we shot that, so they built like a wall, like a giant like protection wall, because we were shooting at someone's house.
Yeah.
And what happened is they built it to the thing, and I put my script supervisor book behind the wall because that's supposed to be the safe area. This motherfucker shot so much goddamn blood. It went soaring through the air, up to the ceiling, went over the protection, and splattered all over the fucking book.
Oh.
Which I'm like, well, there goes today's notes. Sorry, guys. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, 20 years from now, when I'm like living in a gutter, oh, there's my payday.
Yeah. There it is right there. So a funny story for me with Terrifier 3. In Niagara Falls, they have Frightmare in the Falls, and this past year, I hosted the Terrifier panel, and it was Bill Diamond, Bobby McFarlane, and Mike Gianelli. So,
Get
like,
the fuck out of here. I
yeah,
love three guys. I've actually, I don't think I've ever met Mike Gianelli. Oh, no. I met him like for a second, but I know Bill very well. I fucking love Bill Diamond, and Bobby's
yeah.
great.
So the horn just in behind me here, like I'll just point to it. That's from Mike Gianelli. So he gave me the horn with the signature on it, like OG art.
Oh, that's sick.
But what was funny about this, so it's like, okay, it was kind of like for me, I was like, cool, like I would love to do this panel. I mean, I get off on that, but as a fan of Terrifier 3, but I was like, it's weird because Mike Gianelli, like, he did like the original short, but he's not in Terrifier 3, but he's awesome. So he's like engaging in the convo, and I kind of like balanced it so we're going back and forth with some of the older stuff and the evolution of Terrifier 3. But then Bill Diamond starts talking about Bill Diamond Studios. And he's talking about how everyone's taking Muppet characters and Fraggle Rock characters, and they're like in arts like dungeon like setup that he had there. And I know there's a picture with you and Kermit, the like original Kermit. And Mike Gianelli the whole time was like, "Fuck you guys." Like, he's like, Damien knows I love Fraggle Rock. Like he couldn't have messaged me and been like, "Yo, Mike, just come up just to hang because you love Fraggle Rock." And it just like everything kept coming back to like Mike Gianelli not being able to like go to Bill Diamond Studios. And then at the end, like Bill's just like, "Yo, man, like you can come and visit me." And one more side note is that he brings the whole like he brought the Terrifier 3 Santa Claus
Yep.
setup. And he was telling me that usually at the border they ask questions and whatnot, and he has to like justify like having like severed corpses in his trailer. They had no problem letting him into Canada. Didn't even check anything. They're like always good. I'm talking to Tom Atkins, and Tom Atkins, all of like 90 something years old, is just
Yeah.
like driving in his car on his own. He drove himself up to Niagara Falls, and they were like,
Fucking badass.
yeah, we started talking about baseball, and it was just like this. That's a moment that'll live with me for a long time, forever. But Tom Atkins, like, they fucking stopped me and were asking me all sorts of questions, and like they harassed like the 90 something year old man. Who's just driving his regular car up, and Bill Diamond's like, yeah, I came in with this trailer full of like half, severed in half bodies, and no one said a thing. But so how was
He
that
probably
anyway?
pulled
Like,
out Kermit.
what's that? Oh yeah,
I
he
said he
said
probably just pulled out Kermit. It was like,
no. So he mentioned that
everything's
he's done
going
that.
here,
Where
telling
like
you to leave me the fuck alone.
so he's mentioned that he's done that in the past where they open up and they see all the other stuff, like the horror stuff, but then they're like, oh my God, is that the original Kermit the Frog? And he talks about the Muppets and all of that, and they just eat it up. So he said that's what makes things a little bit easier at the border. But were you part of this whole like this hangout at Bill Diamond Studios? Like, is that where you had Kermit?
Yeah, I mean, so we shot a lot of stuff up there. We shot when the girl falls to the when
Yeah, because they had
uh
the raised stage for that.
yes, yes. This is all kicking in now.
Yeah.
um so yes, so we were up there for that. And we shot some stuff of we shot like some different parts of the ending and stuff like that. But yes, I have video of he pulled out one of the cross-eyed gremlin and was playing around with that, and like it was just like our childhoods were appearing before us. Like
Yeah.
he has David Bowie's ball from Labyrinth.
Wow.
Yes, we've held David Bowie's ball. That that in itself, I was like, all right, I'm content. It's like you
Yeah,
walk
yeah,
around and you're just like, fucking hell, Bill, this is our childhood everywhere, plastered
yeah.
everywhere. I mean, and he brings small bits and pieces of it to the cons, but his studio is just incredible. And any filmmaker, I will say, please, if you're looking for somebody, you're looking for a studio, looking for someone to build something, Bill fucking Diamond. The guy
Yeah.
is a fucking legend. And not even just a legend, but that guy, that's a guy to do this whiskey with. He will probably outdrink us both.
Yeah, and it's funny, I went up to him beforehand. I usually like go up there if I haven't met you before, I'll introduce myself and be like, hey, like, at 2, we're gonna do the panel. I mean, you do enough of these now too that you know kind of like how it runs. And we were chatting and I mentioned like Jamie and he's like, oh, we're gonna have a good time. We're good. And I was like, and it was weird, like there's this confidence that like, I mean, I'm pretty confident in what I do, and like even by day I teach. So I mean I love interacting and chatting, but like I was kind of nervous about balancing like Mike being in the fold, and because like I'm like, that's a long time ago, and it's cool. Like people love that like OG arts there,
Yeah.
but like we're also like the other two, like with Bobby like being the stunt double for art, like we're talking Terrifier 3. So, but he's like, I got you too. And he could just whip a story out of his fucking ass. Like,
Oh my God.
no, like,
Yeah. Bill's the type of guy that like you could find yourself up till like 7 in the morning, drinking whiskey,
mhm.
hanging out, shooting the shit about every movie, everything. And he's just got stories on stories on stories.
As a quick side note for you, I think you would appreciate is I'm wearing, and I'll shout it out, like I'm wearing the Fright Rags Art the Clown t-shirt here. So it was like
Oh,
the
that's sick. I don't
yeah.
think I've seen that one.
And yeah, so this is like here, I'll just kind of make it a little bit larger. I'll stand up. But yeah, so this is like the one of the first shirts that they put out, and to me it's like it's dope as hell. I mean, we've seen some of the
Dude,
other
that
shirts.
is sick. I'm shocked that that doesn't like, I've never seen that shirt.
So Ben from Fright Rags, he's a whiskey guy. Become good friends with him. And he hosted Joe Bob. So I know you're a big Joe Bob fan. In Rochester at the Little, they did like I forget what movie they were showing. So Joe Bob comes into town, and then he does his intro. He does his spiel, and he goes to Ben. He's like, "Hey, you know earlier in the day when you took me to that whiskey cigar bar, let's go hit it up while the movie's playing." And then Ben's like, but don't you have to do like a thing in between, like where? And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I'll go there. So they run out, quick cigar, quick couple drinks, come back, intermission. Joe Bob riffs and is able to like just share the story. Then they're all done, right? It's a late night, and he goes to bed. And he's like, so are we gonna go back to that bar and like do another cigar and some whiskey? And then was out with him till like 2 in the morning. And I was like,
That,
these guys are like cut from a different cloth. Is my whole point. Is like,
oh no, they completely are. Like I've met Joe Bob a few times. My buddy, one of my really good friends, his name is Justin Martell. He produces the Joe Bob show, and he
yeah.
and like I because of it, I've met Joe Bob, and even in short bursts, talking to him, he hosted a screening of Black Christmas, which is one of my favorite movies. Um,
If you come up to Toronto here, I can take you to the house. By the way.
what?
Yeah, yeah. The house is like it's. I know like the Black Christmas house is in Toronto. I'm like 30 minutes away from it.
All right, I need to go. All right, all right.
Yeah.
When we get off this call, we're
Yeah.
making plans here because
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
Christmas is. You want to talk about films that have influenced me that you could see clear as day in a lot of my films. Black
Mhm.
Christmas is one of them. And uh, Joe Bob doesn't like Black Christmas,
I know.
and I went up to him at the end, and I go, hey, so, Black Christmas. And he just goes, of course. He goes, you're going to be one of them. I said, I said to him, I go, listen, like I was like, look, man, like I love the movie. He goes, all right, explain to me why you love this movie. Explain it to me, because
Yeah.
everyone just says that I'm crazy for not. Tell me why I should love Black Christmas and go. Like it was like I was like the person that was going to prove it to Joe Bob fucking Briggs. He'd had it because he even said at the beginning when he was like right before he did the drive-in totals, he just goes, "Look, I know there's gonna be one of you people that's gonna come up to me after this movie and is gonna try to challenge me about why I'm wrong and why I'm an idiot, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't like this movie. Blah blah blah." And I explained it to him. I'm like, here's the thing about Black Christmas. It has a one of a kind feel to it. It's got a rawness that you don't see. It's visually like a movie that is looks cheap, but also looks gorgeous in its cheapness.
Yeah.
It the performances, the characters, the interesting kills, and the blown out sound just all add to this extremely creepy and eerie feeling. And I'm like, it is one of the greatest fucking films ever made.
So
He goes,
that feeling quickly, I'm gonna that feeling to me was in the very first scene of Terrifier 3. Like that eerie
okay.
Christmas, like as a huge Black Christmas fan myself, I'm like, it has to feel like Christmas. Now, as a side note, I grew up, my aunt lived like a couple blocks away from that house. So I would like every Christmas Eve, we'd go to her house, and that it was like her house, she was the main host. And so driving through that neighborhood, I don't know exactly if I always drove by that house, but like I knew the neighborhood, I knew the feel of the Christmas lights. So when I watch that, like that takes me. I mean, there's other things I love about the film as well, but it just kind of immerses me
Yeah.
in Christmas, and there's that rawness, and I'm like, yeah. So like, but Terrifier 3, I said, and I this is the coming full circle how I praise Bill is he brought some of that Christmas magic to make it feel like it could have just been like Terrifier 3 Christmas version and it not feel like Christmas. But it like through the mall scene, the beginning, like it just everything was captured. And I feel like when you talk about Halloween, you talk about these legendary like holiday movies, the essence of it has to be captured. And you can't really always like put that into words, but I feel like Black Christmas, obviously the first holiday slasher,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I think Terrifier 3 did a great job with like making it a Christmas film in that same vein. Sorry, I
Well, a
had to
lot of that
go off
also
and
goes
give
to
it its flowers for that. Yeah.
a lot of that also goes to the production designer Olga Turka,
Mm.
who we were shooting the exterior shot of the college scene, and I we shot a lot of like a lot of stuff with like Lauren and Elliot, like where like they're fighting with each other and all that stuff, and Olga's outside, and we no one knew what she was doing, like like we just knew that they were all outside, and we come around there, and it was like as if Santa Claus puked all over this building. And it was just that shot. I have like a photo on my phone. Um, it is from the top of this college to the bottom, head to toe, Christmas.
I'll bring you back full circle because I jumped in. So then you gave your defense to Joe Bob about why Black Christmas is a great film. So what was his takeaway from your in defense of?
He was just like, all right, fair enough. I still don't like it. And I asked him about the first requel, and he said, I've never seen it. I said, you should check it out, Joe Bob. You should check it out. And
Yeah.
he goes, I will probably will, which meant he never will. Um,
The most Joe
yeah,
Bob.
no. Joe Bob was great, and I trying to talk to him is like talking to the ultimate horror guru, and
Yeah.
it's just the best fucking conversations you'll ever have with anybody.
Yeah,
It's
I
Joe
always say
Bob.
my goal is to do this with him. And I know he's a whiskey guy. He actually wrote whiskey articles on the side here and there. And there's one he kind of started bashing craft whiskey. It was really funny. But I'm like, one day it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get
Dude,
him.
just reach out. That's how I used to do interviews. Like I used to do interviews way back in the day. And I just reached out. Like that's
Yeah,
all I did. I just like I interviewed Sid Haig and like all these people. Like
just
and
shoot
it
your
was just
shot. Just
shoot your shot. The
yeah,
worst that they say is no. But the answer is already no unless you ask.
that's a great way of looking at it. One more thing that we need to talk about. Well, there's two things I want to do here. So first thing is Sundown. Okay.
Yes.
So very quickly here. Stars are I'm gonna say our boy Damien Maffei, okay? Um so listen, I know you and Damien are really good friends and you guys have this great bromance. Where what was the first thing you two worked on?
So actually, we met at a con, and I've told them this story. And he came up, and I was like, I remember it was Mike and I. We met him, and he was kind of talking to us. He was being sarcastic. If
Yeah.
you don't know Damien and you don't get Damien, you think he's a prick. And I was like, this guy's a fucking prick.
Yeah.
And then we got brought on to do his movie, the events surrounding a peeping Tom,
Yeah.
which he brought us on as producers and stuff. And I have a great cameo in it with my dear friend Allison Patel. And day one, I remember Della Sala comes up to me because Damien was upset about something. The wardrobe person didn't bring any of the wardrobe, so they're shooting and there's no wardrobe for Damien, for the
Yeah.
main character, and we're shooting his scenes. And he's like, and I remember Steve coming up to me and being like, "Who the fuck is this guy? He's a dick. He's an
Yeah.
asshole." And I on set, I see this Black Christmas hoodie.
Yeah.
Back to Black Christmas. And
Yeah.
I stop and I go, whose fucking Black Christmas hoodie is this? And the great Kate Kiddo says, oh, that's Damien's. And I went,
Yeah.
all right, now I'm gonna find out if this guy's cool enough. And I go up
Yeah.
to Damien the next day and I said, so you like Black Christmas, huh? And he goes, huh, do I like Black Christmas? It's a great movie. And we start talking. And every time there's a moment, him and I were just shooting the shit and hitting it off. And then I went up to Steve the next day. I go, Steve, he's not a dick. He's not an asshole. He's just the most sarcastic motherfucker you'll
Yeah.
ever meet on the planet. But Damien, I've worked with him on so many projects. I talk to him almost every single day. I consider him one of my closest friends. I love this guy. He's such an extremely talented actor, and also not just in horror. He's low key one of the funniest fucking people on the planet. I think
Yeah.
this guy needs to do more comedy. But Damien, but we met on that one. And then I Want Your Skin. I made him the creature in that. We brought him on stream. We brought him on Pitchfork Retreat. And then Sundown. The only cast member we had was Chris, and because he was one of the writers and stuff. But Chris is the son of Terry Alexander
Okay.
from Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
And the town apple does not fall far from the tree. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So they're like, look, who do you know? Like, we need this lead. We need Bill. We need this character. And I said, all right, let me think. I'm talking to Damien on the phone, and we're doing our usual shooting the shit. And I mentioned Sundown, and I'm like, look, Damien, we're shooting it for like nothing, like 20K, 30K, like nothing. He goes, it sounds interesting. Let me read. So I
I
let
love
him
it
read
because
the
like
script.
it's exactly his voice.
Next time you talk to me, you need to tell him I do a spot on Damien Maffei impression.
Yeah.
And he reads it and he goes, I want this. And he goes,
Yeah.
make sure there's coffee. That's all I ask. Coffee. And I get my own room. That's it. That's all I care about. And Damien came down, and Damien fucking knocked this role out of the park, and
Nice.
he brought us in Emily Sweet, who's from VHS and
Hmm.
Castle Freak and Eight Eyes, which is also produced by Justin Martell, who did the Joe Bob Show. But it was
There you
also
go.
one of the first Vinegar Syndrome original pictures, and they did three. They did that, Street Trash, and a movie, Black Eyed Susan, starring Damien Maffei.
Watched it
All
last night.
shot. Oh, did you? I still have yet to see it because he
Yeah.
chose the ding dong, and I've yet to build up the courage. I'm like,
Yeah, I feel like I know Damien a lot more now after watching that. When he
look,
when he
it's a
filmed it, he
great
told me
script.
he's like I'll never watch it. I mean, I don't know if he's like I'll never go back and watch that. Not because he doesn't like think the film is
No, he
great,
loves
but
yeah. Scooter McCrae, great writer, great director. He wrote a great. I read the script. I was like, this is a
yeah.
great fucking script. And Scooter is one of those people. I mean, he's another encyclopedia of film. You definitely should have Scooter McCrae on this show. Because now I'm getting off track. So Sundown, yes.
Yeah.
So we shot this movie for like 10 days upstate in like a little fucking house, like true and DIY, low budget, independent filmmaking, like a crew of like 4 to 5 people. It is the least gory film I've ever done. There is gore, but it's the
Okay.
least gory film I've ever done. This is a character piece.
Because it's more
We
like
use like a
it's not possession, but there's like the premise is that the partner passes away, had dementia, and is like now coming kind of in contact. It's more of like that's what I kind of
yes.
gathered from. Okay.
So basically, what it is like this guy's mother is seeing her dead husband in the house,
Okay.
and her son has been trying to get her to move out of the house and move into an assisted living home because he lives in the city with his family. He has to travel all the way up to upstate New York every time. She lives up there alone. So
Yeah.
he brings his best buddy Bill, who's a failed filmmaker, and their friend Clarissa, who's a clairvoyant, up to the house to
Okay.
basically film everything. and be like, look, if there is some paranormal activity, and that's how
Yeah.
he puts it, we'll get it on camera and we'll whatever. But if not, which is more likely, and she's actually crazy, I need this to use show to the courts and get her to move out and sell the house and all that.
Mm.
Um, so they go up, and of course, stuff starts happening. But is it real? Is it fake? Is it? We don't know.
Mm.
Um, and it's a lot of character stuff. The movie moves like breezes through. And I think Damien's incredible in it. I think Chris gives a great performance. Emily gives a great performance. All the entire cast gives a great performance. I'm really proud of this movie. I think we really made something great. The script by Brian Klingborg is really a really good script. The guy knows how to fucking write. Like,
Yeah.
I get offered different things, and half the time I'm like, I just I'm very picky with certain things, but this
Yeah.
was a good script. I was like, wow, this is really good. It had good meat to sink into with characters and actors, and we're really excited for it. We're hopefully dropping the trailer within a month, and we're looking to do some screenings later this year, and hopefully distribution. You know,
Okay. All right. I'm excited. And what's kind of cool, so I'll bring you back like full circle, is that I almost did this with Damien while he was filming with you. So um
get out of here.
yeah, so check this out. So here's the Damien has to watch this because okay. So in 2018, I went to the theaters and watched Strangers Pray at Night because I was a huge Strangers fan, so I was there for the sequel. I watched the film, and there's the one scene in the car where Buddy's kind of pinned there and he's stuck, and Damien just takes a seat next to him. And that's when like the famous they put on like the radio's going, the song's playing, and Damien just kind of like looks over at him. And I'm like, there's these few scenes that you watch as like a horror fan where I'm like, that is just so good. Like the subtlety of like how he turns and he lets the moment just hang for a second. And I went online, left the theater. I went online and I was like, who's playing this guy? And I look up Damien Maffei. So this is before Whiskey Morgue was like 2020. So this is
Wow. Okay.
so I message him directly and I was just like, dude, like, and at this point I don't know like what he had on Instagram or followers, but I was like, look, I don't even know who you are. I just watched the film. I found out you're the actor. And I just want to tell you, like, that was one of the best movie moments that I've watched. Like, and he messaged back and was like, "Holy shit! Like, well, thank you. Like, I really appreciate it." And we just had a short conversation about it. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool that I got to talk to like the dude in the mask." So then
Yeah.
fast forward, I mentioned this years later, like when I'm doing Whiskey Morgue, and I used to do Instagram lives. I didn't do the podcast just yet. So one of the first like Instagram lives I was gonna do was with Damien. Now he was on set somewhere else, and then they changed his hours. So he like I sent him out whiskey. We're ready to go. I did a promo online. I was like, hey, me and Damien are gonna talk about The Strangers. This was the biggest thing at the time. And then he's like, yo, they switched shit up on me. Let's reschedule. Him and I have been rescheduling now for the last 5 years. All right, Marcus. So before I wrap this up, thank you for doing this and taking the time. You have, your friend's birthday and you're putting this in here. And even though I'll say it's a pre-drink for you and I got to help provide that, that's cool.
Razor.
As someone who kind of follows you, look, there's the horror stuff that, I'm always kind of in tune with what you're up to and what you're doing. But the one thing, if you're a fan of Marcus and you follow him, you know that Blink 182 is super important. Now, I saw Blink in 2024 in the summer. One of the most epic shows. All of a sudden, the lights dim and Undertaker theme comes on, and I'm like an old school wrestling fan. I was like, what the hell is going on? And Blink come out to this, okay? Just to kind of set the tone. But I thought it'd be fun if we kind of just ended off. I usually kind of do a rapid fire, but I'm like, let's just like fuck horror for a second. Let's just do a Blink 182 rapid fire to kind of bring this all home at the
Well, if we're
end.
gonna do that, let me switch hats. One second.
Okay, all right.
From the last show that we
Okay,
just
there we go.
I actually got in trouble to go into the show because we left Scaricon. We were supposed to help out, and I left Scaricon early to go see Blink 182. And they were like, "We need people to help us wrap up." I was like, "I ain't missing Blake 182," and it was one of their best fucking shows I've ever seen them because it was like a lot of their stuff from like Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, like their earlier stuff.
Yeah.
But oh my god, yes, let's do it.
Okay, I like this. We have the hat switch up. Okay. So I got like 4 questions here, right? We'll try to move through them fast. So first one, enema of the state or take off your pants and jacket?
Oof, oof.
I know not starting fair here, but
No, you're starting hard. I would say, I'll be honest, Enema of the State, because I've had this argument. This is actually one of the things that my girlfriend and I actually fell into each other with. Like Enema of the State, undeniable. It's what put them on the fucking map. It has got the bangers on there. But Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. There is arguably not a single bad track on that
true.
album.
So Blink song that would make the best horror movie title.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with I'm Lost Without You because it's a fucked up name. I think it's really fucked up. Like a title for like a horror film. I was gonna go with Violence, but you know.
I like being less on the nose. This is like the obsession crush movie, like I'm lost
Yeah.
without you. Okay. Most underrated Blink song.
So See You from their newest album and Story of a Lonely Guy are the two most underrated Blink songs. See You fucking slaps. I hear that song and I'm like, yo, why was this not released when they first did One More Time?
Okay, last
100%.
question. You're on set. It's been a long day. There was a second lunch. The pizza showed up. And it's now we're at 3 a.m. Okay, you've been on endless hours. What Blink song are you throwing on to get you through that last bit?
Family Reunion.
Nice. Marcus, thanks again for jumping on here. And
Dude, thank you so much for having me. Now that we're 4 fucking whiskeys deep.
the first ever to do 4 pretty high proof whiskeys, and it shows, and you did it like a champ, brother. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for having me on, man. And we're gonna get this Damien one on going.
Hell yeah. Do you have anything left in your glass? I'll cheers you at the end here.
Let me see one of these. Yep, right here.
All right. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
This is Martin.
How amazing would it be if Mary was actually being haunted by Martin's ghost?
It would be amazing for your movie, not so amazing for Mary.
I guess, Chris told you I struggled with some demons.
Mary, why are there deadbolts on the doors?
People with dementia tend to get agitated around dusk.
Mary?
Martin, please answer us. I was so sad when you left. I miss you so much. Martin, can you tell us why you're here? I can feel you.
I'll see you in my dreams.